Hello everyone and welcome. I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long. I wasn't planning to just completely disappear after my last video. But I'm back and hopefully I can be more consistent this time around because I really want to be. But today I wanted to talk about the other books that I might have mentioned in my last video. In my last video, I talked about what I use in 2024, which part 1 was the weeks, and I'm not sure if I might have mentioned it, but I use like a few other books throughout the year, but they're not really for show, at least not the inside. They're pretty private books, but I thought that I could still talk about them and just show, or I guess just talk about what I use them for, even though I'm not showing the inside. And then for the rest of the video, I really wanted to talk about what I'm gonna do for 2025, which I will show. But for now, let's start with 2024. So for 2024, I first really started off with the original A6 Techo. It was, other than the weeks, because I bought both of them at the same time, I was just gonna use my weeks as my media journal, which I have, and I was gonna use my A6 as an everything diary. Basically, I was just gonna write about like life stuff and like an everyday archival of my life, and it worked fine for the most part, but I realized while looking back on my older A6 books that I think I was just being a little too negative or just too sad, if that makes sense. Wow, that sounds really bad, but it's not that serious. But I just realized I was writing about the same issues I was having year after year, and of course that's more on me than anything, but I didn't want to continue down that path, because it was kind of upsetting me to see that in my older books, just how like negative and depressing I was. So I thought that for the rest of the year I would try something new. So what I decided, I think like midway through the year, like after the spring release, I bought a day free, and I had decided that I was going to use this as a vent journal. So this journal is for me to write down every negative thought I might have at the time, or like any problems I'm having, just an outlet book. That's what I really wanted it to be. I wanted it to be something where I could just vent and I could let my frustration out and not like try to make it look pretty, if that makes sense, because I think a lot of us want our books to look a certain way, which is fine. You know, we all have different aesthetics we want to go by, but I really wanted something where I wasn't focusing on the aesthetic. I wanted to focus more on the content and how like sad I was, I guess. So I bought a day free and that's what I use it for. I just vent and I just write down any frustration I have, and I wanted to keep my frustration separated from my main book. I wanted this one to be more of a happier outlook, something that I can actually look back on from years to come. And for this one, I don't plan on looking back on it. If I'm being honest, I don't want to reread anything that I write in this. I will keep it just because I think it is a part of me, even though it is a negative part, but I just don't want to really have too much of a focus on it. It's just something that I take out, write down like crazy whatever I need to, and it's just gonna be my event book. That's what it's gonna be. It's been working out pretty good so far. It's thin, obviously, so I just fill out whatever I need to. And I didn't buy one for 2025 because this one still has plenty of pages left. So once this is full, I think I'm not gonna go with a day free next time. I just wanted to try out a day free, that's why I got it too. But I think next time I won't get it, just because I don't need those first few pages where they have the calendar and like this I don't know what these are called. Everyone calls it an index, but or like, yeah, I think this is the index. But yeah, I don't need that. So I think next time I'm either gonna get a regular Hobonichi journal or like a Midori, maybe something cheaper. I don't know, because it's just supposed to be an event book. But I wanted to try this out, and I'm gonna finish it up, and then once I'm done, I'll move on. Yeah. But anyways, this is my event book. This is one of the books that I don't want to flip through because it's pretty personal. But this is my other book. Like I said, it is my everyday book. It is just something that I use to journal about my day. I'm just writing like more positive things in it about my day, because I don't want to focus too much on the negative, just because that can get really depressing. But yeah, this is the book that I have that I've also bought for next year. It is the regular A6 Techo in Japanese, because I don't really care about the quotes. So I thought, oh, I'll just get it in Japanese, because I like how Japanese writing looks as well. So I always get at least one Japanese book from them if I don't get an English one. So I got this one, and this is the Inuyasha cover. I don't remember what year this was released, but it's a really pretty cover. It comes with a cover on cover when they sold it, so this is like part of the whole bundle for this cover design. It's really pretty. I've never seen Inuyasha, which is probably like sacrilegious or something, but yeah, I do want to watch it eventually. But I really like the cover, and I really love like manga and anime, so I thought I'm gonna get this one, and I'm glad I did, because it's really pretty. And then the inside is very pretty as well. It's deep red. I love red. I think it's such a beautiful color. I just have 2 stencils in here that I use in my books randomly, and this is just like other life book stuff. But yeah, I really love this cover. I switch covers pretty often, actually. I have a few, so I like to switch them. But I thought this one was pretty fitting with the red for Christmas, because it is December already. It is actually December 1st when I am filming this. I don't know if it'll be posted today or if I'll post it later, but yeah, it's already December. Red is such a fitting color for December, and I don't have like other covers really that'll suit this month, but I don't know. I just really like this one. And yeah, these are the other 2 books that I'm using this year that are A6 size. Another book that I was planning on using this year that will roll over into next year as well, other than this day free, is I bought an A5 day free. So my goal for the A5 day free, because I bought it like months ago, even though this cover is from the 2025 lineup, I just changed the cover. But my A5 day free, my goal for that was to use it as a proper notebook. I wanted to write down notes on my favorite stories, whether it be like movies or like fan fiction or manga, stuff like that. I wanted to write down notes on it because one of my goals in life is to develop my own story. I've always been like a creative person, in the sense that I used to draw comics when I was a kid, and I miss doing that. And I've had this story stuck in my head for years, since like I want to say like since middle school practically. I've had a specific story stuck in my head, but I've never taken the time to write it down, and I really want to do that now. This year's been kind of like difficult for me, like my personal life wise, and I've really let go of creativity, sadly. Like, I don't draw as much as I used to. I don't really do art as much as I used to, and I really miss drawing and creating and doing stuff. So one of my goals for the rest of my life, I guess, is to bring back that creativity in me. I really want to start drawing again, and I want to create this story finally, or at least write down some aspects of it. Like, I don't need to write a whole story in like a year, you know? Like, that's not a realistic goal for me, but what I do want to do is I want to at least like write some notes down about it and do something like that. So I plan to use this as a notebook to write down notes on my favorite stories. I wanted to write down what I like about them, what I don't like about them, what I want to use from like my own work, and yeah, I plan on that's what this is going to be used for. I'll probably like stick like manga panels or stuff in it too and draw my own things, and yeah, I'm really excited to use this more. There are already certain like mangas that I want to write about and take notes on in this, and sorry if you heard that. That's my dog. He's like getting all worked up. I think he can smell food. I'm gonna let him out really quick. Sorry about that. I just needed to let my dog out because he could smell food and he wanted to leave. But yeah, I plan on using this as a notebook. That's what it's gonna be. I'm gonna take down notes on my favorite stories and, you know, pick it apart and write what I like, what I didn't like, and what I want to do in the future. And I think it's gonna be good for me to be a note taker again, because I kind of miss school, if I'm being honest. I miss learning, and but I also don't want to go back to school, at least not like fully so far. But I think doing this will be able to like give me a little bit of that studying aspect that I kind of miss. I just miss learning, to be honest. And yeah, I'm just gonna teach myself in a way. So yeah, these are the books that I'm using right now. As far as I know, 2 of them are gonna roll over into next year, which will be my vent book and then this notebook, and then I'll be done for 2024. I will have no more books. I'll just have the books for next year, which is what I want to talk about now. So for next year, I have 3 main books. I have an A6 again for next year. I have another week's that'll be my media journal, but this time I have also decided to try out the A5 Hon. I'm really excited to try this out. Sorry, there's like something sticky on here. I think it's from the packaging. Okay, first off, opening this book up is so hard. Sorry, really weird little rant that I have to do. This plastic is so difficult to pull off. I don't understand why. It was really hard it was really sticky, and I thought I just had to rip it, but once I ripped off this tag, it got easier, but I don't know why it was like, it's just so sticky. It's weird, because the regular books aren't that. They have the paper cover or whatever, but anyway, I decided to use an A5 Han for next year. This is the Crescent Moon Delivery, and it is in English. I've been watching a lot of people use a cousin size throughout the year, and I'm gonna be honest, it looks really good. It just looks, it's so big, they can fill out so much, it looks cool. So I really wanted to try one for next year, in addition to my other books, because I like to yap, if you couldn't tell. So I thought it'd be interesting to fill it out, and also because I don't really stick a lot in my A6 books, and I don't know why, but I guess one main reason that I figured out is because if I stick in things, it takes up too much room, and then I can't write. And that's really frustrating when it is a daily page book and it's only 1 page per day. So I thought for next year I would make my A6 really plain and just write in it and not stick anything in. But in this book, I would stick in whatever I wanted. I am worried about the bulk of it over time, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. Like, fingers crossed it won't be too bulky, because this is a hardcover book, and I think it'll, when it shows bulk, it'll show up a lot differently than the regular paper Hobonichis. It's getting kind of dark. Hold on. Okay, I think that's kind of better, but not really. Sorry, it's probably gonna be dark the rest of the video, but for my plans for 2025, I am planning to use 3 books mainly, for the most part, as an everyday book, which would be my weeks, this one, and then my A6. That sounds kind of overwhelming, but I have a few ideas on how to like relax about it. So, for my Hon, for my A5, I'll probably mimic what I was trying to do with my A6. So like for this page, I think I really want to do like a habit tracker, and also for this bottom portion, I was thinking about doing, here, let me write it down. So for this page, I really wanted it to be a habit tracker. I wanted to write down different things regarding like skincare. Like I use like sometimes I'll use like exfoliators and serums, and I don't have to use them every day, but I like to be consistent with it because my skin looks best when I am consistent with my products. Obviously, if you have a set routine, your skin will build up a habit with that, and once you break it, it'll go back to, you might break out. And that has happened to me multiple times. So I really want to build a more stable skincare routine, because my skin's been acting weird lately, and it's been really frustrating because I don't change my products that I use, but I have been like lacking on the consistency for it. So I really want to be consistent with it, and I want to be able to like track like what happens throughout the year that'll trigger it, because something always happens like around, like I'll be consistent for like 2 months, and then I'm off for 2 months. Like that has happened multiple times this year, where I'll be consistent for like a month or 2, and then all of a sudden I'll drop off the face of the earth and just not do what I want to do, and it's really frustrating because I'm seeing what I guess the consequences of that, if that's the right word. I'm just seeing that my lack of consistency is not benefiting me, and so I really want to try to be consistent. So for this, I want to do a proper habit tracker, and so I really want to do skincare. I have like exfoliator, and I use something called like retinol. It's not retinol. It's like they literally write retinol. It's like something from Youth to the People. I really want to use that because I haven't been using it well, and how am I gonna know if it works if I barely use it, you know? I have hair care stuff too, like serums. And then health wise, I really need to take better care of my health. I got some like pretty serious health news from my doctors, and I need to take better care of myself, basically. And so I really want to be more consistent with my health, and especially eating habits and exercise. So for next year, I really want to keep track of like walks that I go on, because I've tried running, but I get bored of it and I get really sore. So I'm like, I don't want to do it. But I really want to start going on walks more. I walk my dog pretty consistently, but I need to just walk myself better, because my dog, he's not older. I mean, he's a little older, but he's not old where like older dogs will just like not walk. But his habit is that he loves to smell things, so he stops on every walk we go on. He'll like stop and sniff the same spot for like 5 minutes, And so it's really hard to get a good pace going because I feel like I'm just standing around most of the time just waiting for him. So I really want to take time to go to on walks more. I would like to go to a gym eventually, but I do live in the Bay Area and it is very expensive here. So gyms are also very expensive here. Um, but I think next year I really want to try a boxing gym. Like I've always wanted to try boxing, but I'm always too nervous. But I think next year I'll try to make that a goal. But that's not going to be part of my habits yet until I do it. So for right now, walks, just in general, will be part of my habits. I do want to incorporate weightlifting at a certain point, but we'll see. For health wise, I guess, you know what? I think it'd be really good for me to track how much takeout I get. So sometimes I do eat out like way too much. Like I realize like, oh my god, I've gone to like fast food places too many times in a week. And I don't want to do that anymore. I'm so like, I feel so sick after I eat takeout food, but I can't stop because it's just so convenient. I'm so tired after work and I don't want to do anything. And it's like, usually when I cook, because I'm not a very good cook, I don't eat well. So I think it'll be good for me to see how often I go to eat takeout and maybe where I go. I don't think I can write where I go here at least, but I can track in a month. Okay, how many times have you gone out to eat? And it can be small things too, like if I go to like a cafe and get coffee. Sorry, needed a sip. But yeah, I think I really want to write how often I eat out, especially because I don't want to spend that much money on food. So yeah, so these are just a few things of what I want to keep track on these main points. But on the bottom part, so I'll write a line for the bottom. My goal for this year was to read a book a month, and I failed. I failed point blank. I read a lot of fan fiction. That I for sure did that, but I really want to read the books that I actually have. So I think in this portion, even though I have a media journal, I would like to track at least a little bit of how many books, maybe movies, I watch in a month, but I want them to be new. Because what I did this year was even though I had a lot of stuff I wanted to watch, I didn't. I always go back to the old habit of rewatching something comforting. Which is fine at the time, just to have something on in the background, but I really miss out on watching new things. I would like to go to the movies more if I can, but if I can't do that, there's, I think everyone subscribed to like a bunch of streaming services, and sometimes, they'll take stuff off, and I never watch the stuff that I really want to watch, and then they end up taking it off, and then I have to like, and then it's nowhere else. It's gone. It's gone to the ether. So I think next year I really want to focus on reading new things and watching new things. I want to stop just going back to the same 3 shows I always watch, even though they're my comfort shows and I love watching them. I just I need to stop. I need to give new things a shot. So I think for this bottom portion, I kind of want to write down books and films, but new, like new to me. And I don't mean stuff that just comes out in that year. I mean like even things that I've never seen before that are older. I just want to write down, just write down the title and that's it. I'll go more into depth in my weeks, but yeah, I think I'd like to keep track of it because I don't really know what to do with these. I've seen some people use them for like sleep or for more tracking, I think. But no, I think I want to do this. I don't know yet. Like I said, none of this is set in stone. This is just an idea of what I want to do for next year. I think in a separate video I will write some stuff down in this book and plan it out, because we are in December and it's going to start soon. Next year's going to start soon, so I do want to start setting some of this up, but I think I'll do that in next time. This is just some planning out. Yeah, so that's for this page, for the habit trackers. Now for my monthlies, I think for the monthlies, I just want to do, oop, that was a horrible line. I don't know what happened there. That was a horrible line. Jeez. Anyways, it's a good thing I'm not writing in this book yet. Jeez. For my monthlies, I just plan on writing important dates. I'm gonna write down concert dates because I have bought some concert tickets already. And I do have it on my phone as an alert. Because I don't know, for important stuff like that, I do like to write it down in my little weekly supplement that I've bought for my A6, but I'd like to write it down everywhere as much as I can so I can just get it in my head. So I think I'm gonna write concert dates in here. I might write bills, but probably not, because I think in this book I would like to film and show people, because I think it's fun to just see people's like flip throughs. So I'll probably just write concerts in here, and probably holidays, especially ones that we get paid for at work. But yeah, for now, it'll just be concert, holidays, and maybe just like fun stuff, like fun little simple outings that I do. Fun stuff, just like outings to like bookstores, museums, because that is something I want to do next year. I want to go to bookstores and I want to go to more museums, because we have so many museums in San Francisco. Like, it's a shame that I don't go to more. And for outings, I really like going outside of the city. So like, we're really close to Santa Cruz, so I love going to Santa Cruz. It's always fun. So I'd like to go there more, because we didn't get to go last year like at all. I was planning to go during the summer, but then an accident happened in our family that, like, my mother broke her knee, basically, so we couldn't go, and because she loves going there too, so I felt bad, and we just stayed home the whole time while she was healing. She's better now, thankfully, but yeah, I just really want to be able to write like short little memories about what I do when I go on these outings. And yeah, I think that's what I have for now. And then for the weeklies, now this is something that I don't know what to do. Is that how you spell weeklies? Probably not. Whatever. I do not know what to do with the weeklies. I have some ideas. When I originally was gonna plan for my 2025 books, I was gonna do it digitally, but it was really hard to like get it on my computer, right? Or on my iPad, I mean. And so it kind of looked weird, but I think I wrote some notes down. Hold on. Yeah, so for my weeklies, I had a few ideas. I was gonna try to have it as like a meal prep blog, but then it's like, it's so large. Like, I didn't really like on my iPad screen it's so small, but here it's so large, so I have no idea what I'm even gonna fill this up with like food, like just all food. Like, that seems kind of daunting, so I might do a little bit of food here. I do want to write down how consistent I am with breakfast and lunch, because those are meals that I usually always skip. Sorry about that. It probably cut off. but what I was saying was that for the weeklies, I had some ideas about what I wanted to do. I thought I could use it as a food log, but I think it'll be, like, looking at this now, it's very big, obviously, but I think it'll be a little too daunting for me to write about, or at least to fill this all up with food. But I do have some ideas, so I think I do want to have some sort of food log that's not in my dailies. I think what I want to do is I'll write down a little bit about breakfast and lunch and dinner, obviously, but because I'm really bad with eating breakfast and lunch, mostly breakfast. I always skip it, and I don't want to. I want to at least have something small because I've been feeling kind of nauseous, and I know it's because I'm not eating well. So I really want to start eating consistently and better. I do want to write about the snacks in between and what they are, because I don't want to just snack on like chips all the time or like just something super unhealthy. I would like to have just like small snacks in between, just like a lot of fruit and nuts and stuff like that, just something healthier than what I've been eating. So I think I do want to keep track of that here, but at the same time, I think on this side, I want to keep track of what I buy in groceries. Just how much I spend and what I have, so I can kind of meal prep through the week. But like I said, I'm kind of a bad cook, so don't know how that's gonna work out, but we'll see. This is just ideas, right? So but I do want to write down my spending in groceries, because sometimes I'm like, damn, I spend a lot on groceries, but then it's like I bought like ketchup or something, or I bought chips, and it's like, that doesn't count. That's not groceries. That's literally junk. It's junk food. So yeah, I really want to write down like what I've spent on, like, or at least just to keep track of what food I actually have at home, and so I can plan out for the rest of the week, being like, oh well, I eat this and this and this for the rest of the week. Yeah, I think that'll be. I just really want to be consistent with my eating. I need to stop eating the way that I am, man. I really want to be healthier. Like, next year is going to be a really big focus on health, because I have to be healthier. And I did kind of think about just writing down like a weekly amount of how much I spent out on food for like takeout and stuff, but yeah, I think I can do that. Spent done takeout. Yeah, I think it'd be nice to write about what I spent on takeout, just to have a total, so I can really set in stone how much money I'm spending. Because even though I have like my bank app on my phone, I just love writing things down and calculating it myself, just to make sure, or at least just to get it in my head that, oh, this is how much I'm spending in a week. Oh my god, like, because most of these apps, they'll encourage you to spend more and more and more, but I don't want that. I want to like save my money and not spend it on junk food, so I could spend it on like other things that are necessary, or that I'd rather have than food, or junk food at least. So yeah, that's one idea that I've had for this. Another one that I've seen people do is they'll use it as like a little bit of they'll use it as like a recap. I mean, they'll actually use it as a schedule to write down their schedules, or like a recap of the day, which I'm not opposed to. I would like to use it as an actual schedule. So I really need to get better with sleeping as well. I have really bad sleeping habits. I don't get like a full 8 hours of sleep. I'm a pretty restless sleeper. So I thought it would be nice to write down like my day plans, like my sleeping, what time I'm going to go to sleep and what time I wake up. I would really like to be consistent with that. I really wanted to start waking up earlier because I realized as I start getting ready in early in the day to go to work, I spend like 2 hours doing nothing, and then I have to go to work. And so I don't like that. I want to actually like do something in my morning that doesn't involve my phone. So I would really like to have a more set schedule of like, I'll wake up at like 7 in the morning, get ready, walk my dog, eat, and like read, you know? Like just do something small for myself that doesn't involve my phone. So I really would like a wake up schedule. And then also, I'll just block out work. If I have a more consistent like routine, I'll have a more consistent work schedule, because right now it's pretty inconsistent. It's just a matter of like when I can get there, kind of. But yeah, I like, you know, I really want to have like a set routine of like, I'm gonna go in at like 8 and I'll leave at 4, you know, stuff like that. So I really want to be more consistent with that too. And then when I get back home, I have, you know, a lot of crap to do. So I have to like, you know, like block out when I walk my dog. My hobby time, I really want to block out time for me to like actually sit down and write. Just hobbies in general that don't involve my phone. I really, next year also, I'm already starting to do it now, but next year I also really want to have a focus on going on my phone less. So I would really like to be more consistent with my hobbies. And then sleep, of course. I want to write down what time I actually am trying to go to sleep, instead of laying in my bed. Oh, I'm gonna go to sleep at 10, and then laying on my bed and going on my phone for 2 hours, and then it's like 1 in the morning or something, you know, or 12, whatever. Because I have been going to sleep at like 1:30 in the morning, and then waking up at 8 and being like, why am I so tired? Why do I feel exhausted? Oh, it's because I'm not sleeping well. And I'm being really inconsistent with my sleep. So yeah, I think that's it for it, other than the dailies, right? Because it's just a bunch of weeklies. Yeah, turning the page into the new year. Next year, or 2 years, 2026, not even. And then the dailies. The dailies, I don't really have to, well, I do have an idea of what I want to do for it. So for the dailies, what I was thinking of doing was, another page. So for my dailies, is that how you even spell dailies? I don't know. I'm tired. Everything looks weird. But for my dailies, what I really want to do is, in this book, because I don't plan on decorating my A6 a lot, I think I'm going to keep it pretty plain for next year. Very minimal decorations, because it takes up too much space on the page. I think in this book, I want to have more decor. So I would really like to like just decorate more in my book. I really want to use up my sticker collection that I have. I have a pretty big one. That I just don't use enough. Like, I need to use it more. So I really want to use up my stickers. I want to use up some washi that I have, or at least get rid of it and stop buying more. And I also want to use my stamps. I bought a ton of stamps this year because I love using stamps. I think it's so fun. And so I really want to use those. and just like I just want to decorate my book more. There are a few people I follow on Instagram who their books are so pretty. They decorate them so nicely. One of them that I can think off the top of my head is I think her name is like Georgia Journals. Yeah, I think her name is Georgia Journals. Her books, the way she decorates them is so beautiful. They look so nice. I really want to have something like that where I just decorate a bunch and then I write down whatever I need to. So yeah, I think that'll be my plan with my dailies. My other idea for my dailies, if that doesn't work out, is I think what I kind of want to do is if I run out of room in my A6 for that day, I will expand on it in my A5 if I need to. But other than that, I think I want to use my A5 almost like a commonplace. I really just want to write down about something that it interests me in that day. And I don't know yet what, but I think that'll be the plan of like using the top half for like commonplacing and then the bottom half for like a continuation of whatever I wrote down in my A6 if I need to. So I think like what continuation page for an A6 and also commonplace. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what commonplace means. Every time I look it up, I get a different answer, and every time I look up a video, I get a different answer. So I really don't know what a commonplace means at this point. But I guess it's to each their own, right? So for me, it would be more of like note taking and reference, and I guess copy and paste, basically. Because I've seen that a lot where people have said like, oh, it's just if you write down quotes or like articles or something, you're just writing it down and you're not putting any like I guess you're not writing notes on it, from what I've understood, which I don't really get that portion of it, but I guess for me it would be more like if I want to write down pieces of like an article that I'm interested in, I also want to take notes on it because when I first found out about the Hobonichi and I saw this like this imaginary line that they call it or whatever, it reminded me. Sorry for the cut again. So what I was saying is that I think for this book, it really reminded me of Cornell Notes, and I don't know if this was just like a my school thing or like an American thing or whatever, but when they taught us about Cornell Notes in school, it was basically like, oh, you would write down the main thing that you're taking notes on, and then you'd write like questions about it or whatever on that side. And I hated Cornell Notes. I hated them. I still feel like a little bit of that frustration with them, but they were useful, I guess. I want to do something like that where I'll write down whatever I'm referencing and then I'll write down my notes on it on this side, like my thoughts on it. So like I can write down an article and then write down, oh, this is what I take from this article and this is what it means to me or whatever. I've seen a lot of people do that online too. I think it looks nice. It looks really it's really interesting to look back on and to reference it, just to have. So I think that's one of the ideas that I have for these books is for commonplacing. Or even writing about my day. I might change my mind, you know? I might just use this only and not use my A6 anymore. But yeah, I don't really see that happening though, just because the A6 has the portability factor. It's so small, it fits anywhere. If it's in even like some of my smallest purses, it'll fit, like if that's the only thing I'm carrying, but it'll fit. Whereas this is a struggle to carry around. I don't see myself taking this from my house really. I plan on leaving it home for the most part, but I really wanna be more consistent with my books next year. I really don't want to fall off, or if I do fall off, I don't want to fall off for as long as I did this year. Like, I skipped a few months this year just because I don't know what happened, honestly. What I started doing was I would take notes on my phone for the day and then like write it down later as like a backlog, but it's sometimes I'll skip just too much and it'll be overwhelming, and so I'll have like a bunch of things empty and I just don't remember because I didn't take enough notes on it or what I wanted to write about. So it's been pretty frustrating to fill in. So I think next year I really want to like be consistent with my writing because I just drop things, I think, too easily, but I do eventually come back to them. But it's just been really frustrating to drop it and then like not being able to fill it in again later on. So I think in the next video I'm gonna try to finalize my plans on some of these and just decorate and show you guys what I'm gonna do. I'll probably do my weeks more because I also have to test out this paper, which is another issue. I don't know how many of you have heard about this, but as far as I can tell, the Hobonichi cousin, or the Hobonichi 5-year, is the one that has the most problems with the Tomo River paper. I don't know what happened, because I don't think this is the new paper. I think we started using the Sanzen paper in the 2024 books. But apparently there's been a big change between the 2024 and the 2025 Sanzen paper. It's just, I've seen some people complain about bleeding. There's a lot of feathering. There's just like fountain pen ink just isn't working well on these books, and even like markers. Like, this isn't a Tombow, but like some people have been complaining about like even Tombows or what is this called? The mild liners, like bleeding through, which is crazy because that has never been a problem in the past, but now it is. And so I really want to test out the paper for myself because it's obviously not in every book. And which is also another frustrating part because it is very inconsistent. So I really want to test out my weeks. I want to test out my A6 and I want to test out my A5, and I want to see what works and what doesn't, because I have bought some new pens. I have bought some new pens. So for my A6, I use the Uniball one. This is just the regular one, and I recently bought 2 more Uniballs that I wanted to try out. I bought the Uniball F, which is heavier than the Uniball 1, and it's really slippery. Because the Uniball 1 has this like rubber like grip section, whereas this one doesn't. So because it's heavier, it says it has a lower lower point of gravity or something like that, or lower weight of gravity, where it says it's supposed to be more comfortable to write longer with, but I do not find it comfortable, because I feel like it's slipping through my fingers more, and it's really weird. So I don't know why they would take away the grip from it, but I think I need to practice using it more too. But that's what I've been using in my A6. I really like how dark these are. But it's the same ink. They're both 0.38, but they're pretty big. They're really juicy. Like, that's dark compared to whatever this is, the Hobonichi pen. I think it's a Uni Jetstream. Yeah, and I like the darker ink more. So that's what I've been using in my A6, and I'll probably use it in my other A6 too. In my weeks, I actually use a different pen because it is what do you call it? it's like with the weeks, it's just like, because I don't have grid on the actual daily part of the weeks, I can't use like this pen. It writes too broad, even though it's a 0.38. So I have to use, I found this one. It's the Uniball Signal, and it writes very tiny. Okay, this doesn't look that tiny, but I swear I write different with this one than I do with this one. So I use this one on my weeks, but it takes forever to dry, and I have smudged so many, so I don't know if I'm going to use this next year, because I have bought another Pilot Kakuno. I bought another Pilot. This is Pilot Kakuno and extra fine. It's very thin. I already had one in fine, just a little broader. I have a piece of fur on me. Yeah, it's so different. I really like these pens. They're pretty cheap too. So if you're if you want to try fountain pens but are nervous about the price point, these are like I think they're like $12 on Jet Pens at least. You probably find them cheaper somewhere else, but I like Jet Pens. I have this one, has the regular Pilot ink that the pen originally comes with, and this one I actually put in the Atramentis Archival Black, or no, Document Ink Black ink. Oh, I thought it was Archival. No, it's okay. It's the Document Black ink. So I have this one in it, and yeah, I think I might use this one in my weeks next year, but if it feathers, I might be pissed. I really don't want it to feather. So I need to test them out first. So I'll probably do that in my next video, because if that doesn't work out, I always have the Uniball Signal at least. I could keep on using this one too, but it's just too thin for me. I want something a little bit darker and a little bit more broader. So I'd really like to test these pens out, because I also have I have two Kaweco pens. This one is the plastic body in pearlescent. I don't remember. Sorry, I don't remember. It has the Kaweco ink in it. This one's in fine. I don't know if you can tell, it's blue ink. And then this one is the AL Kaweco in iguana blue. It's so pretty. And extra fine. So these both have Kaweco ink in it. This one has I think it's called Kaweco Pearl Black. This one has Pearl Black, and this one has the original blue in it. So I really want to test out my pens. I want to test out my markers too. I want to make sure that my zig doesn't bleed, and I also want to make sure that my mild liner doesn't bleed, and also my stamps, I guess, too. So many things to test out, but I'll do that in the next video. So yeah, this is my little plan out for 2025. I hope it was informative and I didn't ramble too much. Yeah, I'm really excited to start a new book. You know, it always feels like a new chapter when I or like a new opportunity when I when we transition books from year to year, it's like a new opportunity to start fresh and to just have like a whole, you know, it's all a giant blank space, and I'm really excited to test it out for next year. I really hope I do better. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.